Welcome to your last English task of Summer Term 1. I hope you had lots of fun yesterday reading Five Little Senses. We're going to look at it again today and compare it with a new poem. It's reading time. Let's scroll down to find the poem called First Dog on the Moon, and you can read along with me. This is how it sounds. Hi there, first dog on the moon. How do you feel?
Like nothing on earth.
Yes, but can you taste anything up there?
Bones so cold and dry, they bite my tongue.
That's great, first dog on the moon. Now, what can you smell?
Fear of the things hiding in hard shadows.
Okay. So, what can you see?
Long dead forests, broken winds in empty streets. Things, shadows.
So, what are you going to do next, first dog on the moon?
Sit and howl at the earth.
Now, I want you to pause the video here and I want you to try reading First Dog on the Moon by yourself. After you finish reading it, think of these questions. Who do you think is talking to First Dog? And do you feel sorry for First Dog being up on the moon? Do you feel bad for him? If you do feel bad or feel sorry for him, why is that? Your turn, off you go. Now we're going to reread Five Little Senses and compare it to First Dog on the Moon. Listen closely and follow along. Five Little Senses. Five little senses are what I need to use when things are near. I use my eyes to look and see. I use my ears to hear. I use my nose to smell things. I use my hands to touch. I use my mouth to taste the things I love to eat so much. Five little senses standing in a row to see, hear, smell, touch, and taste the things I need to know. Now we're going to scroll down to our first task, which is called Poem Comparison. So here you'll see a chart all about First Dog on the Moon and Five Little Senses. We're going to use this chart to help us compare these two poems. So what we're going to do is we're going to put ticks or crosses in each of the boxes. Let's start with the first one. It says, has a dog in it. Now, did the poem, First Dog on the Moon, have a dog in it? It sure did. So we are going to put a tick. Now, did the poem Five Little Senses have a dog in it? It sure did. It's the picture right on the title. So we can put another little tick. Good job. Let's do one more together. Is about the senses. Well, we definitely know Five Little Senses was about the senses, so we can tick that one. First Dog on the Moon, was that about the senses? If you forget, you can read through it again, but I remember hearing about things. They were asking the dog what he could taste, what he could smell, and what he could see. So it did talk about some of the senses. So I could put a tick. Very good. Now it's your turn, year one. I want you to finish the rest of this task by putting ticks or X's in the correct boxes. And when you're finished, decide which is your favorite of the two poems and why. It's your turn. Off you go. Now before you start your writing task, I want you to go back and read First Dog on the Moon one last time. Can you spot which two senses were not mentioned in First Dog? I note that they asked Dog what he could taste, what he could smell, and what he could see. So which two senses have I forgotten? Well done if you notice they did not mention hearing and touching. So for your writing task, you're going to write a sentence in each box. In this box, you're going to write what dog can hear. And in this box, you're going to write what dog can touch. Now remember, these sentences don't have to be accurate, so they don't really have to be real about what would happen on the moon. They can be if you like, or you could use your imagination to think of something silly. So let's do some examples together. I'm going to start by saying what dog might be able to hear. I'm going to write, I can hear cheerful moon bugs chatting to each other. So a silly sentence. I don't think that's really happening on the moon, but I used my imagination to think. Now, on the next box, we're going to write about what dog might be able to touch. I can feel smooth moon rocks in my hands. Using my imagination of what I might think he can feel. So it's your turn to give that a go. Write a sentence in each box about the senses, hearing and touching. When you finish that, you can try the fun time extras. In this box down below, you can draw first dog up on the moon, busy using all of his senses. So what does he taste? What does he smell? What does he see? What does he feel? And what does he hear? And another activity you can try down below here is called First Dog's Adventures. So you could write a short story about what First Dog gets up to on the moon. And that's it for today, Year 1. Have fun reading the poems First Dog on the Moon and Five Little Senses and comparing them to each other. Don't forget to choose your favorite poem. Happy learning!